Hello.
Hey, am I speaking with John Wood?
Yes, you are.
How you going, mate? This is Jordan from Triple BFM. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, mate. It's an honour to be speaking with you.
Oh, that's that's ridiculous, really. But anyway, thank you.
In what sense is that?
I'm just a person. Anyway, it's thanks for calling.
Yeah, no problem.
You're on
Triple BFM, mate.
And whereabouts are you based?
I'm in the Barossa, so you'll be heading down to Adelaide.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, good. Yes.
I do have to apologise for saying honour there, because I did grow up watching you, and I do get a bit starstruck when it comes to people as yourself. But you are quite right in saying that you are just a person.
Yeah. But look, that's all right. It's very flattering that you responded in that way. It's lovely, and I'm glad that you grew up watching me. I hope you enjoyed it for the most part.
No, well, we're actually rewatching the series of Blue Heelers at the moment. Currently, we're on season 4, me and my wife. So we're re-loving it again, and
good.
It's good to be speaking with you today. Mainly about your role that you have in the up and coming play that you're bringing to Adelaide.
Yeah, Senior Moments. Yes, it's unfortunately, we're not bringing it up to the Barossa, I don't think, but we're getting around the place a bit. We kick off rehearsals next week, and then off to Wyong, and then down to Adelaide, and back to Melbourne, and then all points of the compass after that. But it's a pity we're not getting up to the Barossa. It's lovely out there.
It is a beautiful area.
Yes, it's great.
No, but we don't mind.
So is the Clare, and although they're probably the chief rivals, are they, of the Barossa?
Oh, well, we're okay. We share a bit.
Oh, good. Yeah.
No, so it's very good to know that you're still getting out there and you're acting, and you enjoy the stage, or do you enjoy the screen?
Oh, I love. Well, I don't get off at the screen very much anymore. It's I'm of an age where you sort of, like I probably started to become invisible 20 years ago, and I'm completely vanished now. So it's, but anyway, that's all right. That's the nature of the business.
No, exactly.
But I love being on stage because I love the instantaneous reaction of the audience. If you tell a joke and they laugh, you know what you're doing is working, and sometimes you have to wait a long time on television to find out whether the audience likes it. So,
yeah, you get that sense. Well, in regards to finding out about whether people liked it, you've had the numerous amount of awards that have come your way.
Yes, it's. I've been very fortunate, I think. It's, and obviously, there was a bit of talent there, but it's. The industry is very much about being in the right place at the right time, and being able to seize the opportunities when they come up, and sometimes they come up and you can't, and you miss out on things. But I can't complain. I've not missed out on very much in my career, which has been
So coming into those
in many ways.
So coming into those senior moments, if we're going off of your play there, do you regret anything? Not things that you didn't take, or you just find the way that you are, and then you're just wanting to pass on sort of bits of information to the next generation of actors?
Well, there are a couple of classic roles that I would have loved to have had a crack at, like some of the Chekhov plays and stuff like that. But, they were offered to me at a time when I was doing Rafferty's Rules and couldn't get the time to do them. So, and they don't come up very often, like if you miss it the first time round, it's often years and years or never before they come up again. But I have no real regrets at all about the way it has all panned out. I mean, it's interesting. I was speaking of Rafferty's Rules a moment ago, and I was asked I was asked to do that, a pilot of that, and I wasn't available for some reason. I can't remember why. And Chris Hayward played the role, and the whole different cast of actors. Mark Little played Fulvio, and I think Kate Wilkin might have been still in it, and Simon Chilvers. But when they decided to reshoot the pilot, Chris wasn't available. And I was. I wasn't available because I was playing Menzies in The Last Bastion, and when it came time to, they felt they needed to reshoot the pilot, and Chris wasn't available, but I was. And so in the first pilot of the show, I've still got traces of Menzies' haircut underneath my own in that first pilot. But
that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's but it's pure luck. I was available and Chris wasn't, and I did it, and the rest is history. It sort of went on to do 100 odd episodes and be one of the most respected shows in Australian TV history, which is wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more of a right place, right time sort of scenario, which is really exciting to hear that, there's people out there that don't sort of seek to get the attention. It just sort of kind of sits in their lap and you take it from there, which is good.
Well, it's very much about being in the right place at the right time. If I hadn't been available, and they did audition every actor, just about, I think I was 38 or something at the time. And I think they auditioned everybody my age at that time, everybody in the country, and I was just lucky enough to get it. So,
yeah. So, from doing the acting, is there anything else that you wanted to go into? I know that it took up the majority of your time. Was there anything else that you saw yourself doing in regards to another form of work?
Well, I never ever saw myself as being out of the entertainment industry. Once I'd got the bug, that was the be all and end all. I wanted to be in this business, from a very early age, and and I've been very lucky. I've been, doing it professionally since 1969, so it's 50 years this year. So
there we go.
I'm very fortunate, yeah.
The people that you're working with, we'll go on to the show, Senior Moments. Have you worked alongside them before, or is it a new cast that you've never sort of laid eyes on?
No, we did a season of the show last year, which we toured all over the country again, and it was so popular that it's been brought back, and apparently the bookings are really good, so there are a lot of people have heard about it and are going to come, and a lot of people are coming back, and what they'll be seeing, of course, is the same show, but it's fantastic. I'd worked with Max when I was a teenager. We were in the same theatre company together back in the 60s, and he directed me in a play called A. And, and that was the first time I ever really felt that I could possibly be a full-time actor. It was after working with Max on that, and we ended up sharing a flat together, and the rest, as they say, is history. Max and I haven't worked together that much over our careers, but we did do a version of The Club a few years ago, God, nearly 20 years ago now, but at the MTC with a stellar cast, myself and Max and Gary Sweet, Vince Colosimo, Aaron Pedersen, and, it was just an amazing smash hit revival of a show that had been a big hit in the 70s, and we did it in the 90s, and it was such a big hit that I ended up doing national tours and country tours with different casts for over a period of about 10 or 12 years. So it was great to do. And then Benita, I'd met. When I first saw Benita, I was operating a follow spot at the music hall in Neutral Bay in Sydney while I was at NIDA drama school, and Benita was in the show, and she was really one of the most beautiful women I'd ever seen. And here we are working. She did an episode of Rafferty's Rules, I have to say, and here we are working together, all these years later, and she's still one of the most beautiful women in the country. So, yeah.
Beautiful to hear.
And she's a great performer.
Exactly.
And,
that's what we like, a double in women. We don't mind if they look good and then they can act good as well.
Well, she can act more than a bit. She's terrific.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful to hear, mate. And it's good that you can reminisce like that. Is there any words of wisdom that you can offer as the career that you've had, the 50 years you've just said, to a young person such as myself or anyone else that might be listening to my show?
I really don't know. My advice is usually stay well away. It's a heartbreaking business. It's, it's great if it works for you, but if it doesn't, it can be absolutely heartbreaking. And I don't know how young people do it today. They shoot off to Hollywood and they do the audition season over there, and that level of rejection would kill me. They do 100 auditions and don't get any shows, or maybe they get one, but I couldn't bear presenting myself and being rejected.
Yeah.
On that scale, I find that awful. But, it's pretty obvious, to me anyway, when I see young people, it's pretty obvious to me which ones have the ability to go on. I've just worked with a couple of young people in a show called Summer and Smoke, a Tennessee Williams play that we did here in the convent at Abbotsford, and it was a lovely play, and there were a couple of young women in it who were just sensational, really sensational, and they have the ability to do anything, I think. Young bloke as well, so they're people who really want to do it and have the ability, usually find their way into it somehow. But I try not to get in their way.
Yeah.
Anyway, so do you have acting aspirations as well?
Myself, I've done a bit of acting. I've done some extra work on TV shows. I was lucky enough for one of them to go on Netflix. But yeah, from there I've just been doing my radio and going along that journey and loving it, to be honest. I'm speaking to people like yourself who have had the career, and yeah, we're not going to say it's an honour again because we know that you don't. We know that you don't like that one, but that's all good.
No. I don't mind it at all. It's an honour to speak with you. But anyway, it's well, good luck with whatever class you choose. It's but you've chosen a hard business to be in, and I thought about radio. It's
well, you've got the voice for it, mate.
I don't know if I could get up early enough in the morning anymore.
No, that's why they've got my show at 2 to 4. I don't mind it. I thank you very much for joining me and taking your time out of what you may be doing today.
Well, it's a pleasure to talk to you, and just like to tell your listeners that Senior Moments is very, very, very funny. So particularly for anyone over 40, because, I think I first had my first senior moment when I was about 30. But, it's a very funny show, and Max Gillies still has the most immaculate comic timing in the world, and Benita's wonderful. Russell Newman's terrific. The younger actors in it are really good, and the surprise package for the audience will be Jeff Harvey, who plays piano. He used to play piano on the midday show, and he's well into his 80s and totters onto the stage with the rest of us and sits at the piano, and just that silken touch. He's just got like the music just flows out of him, and he's also a pretty good comic.
That's good to hear, mate. That there's you've got a lot of good people behind you when you're on stage, though.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a great show. Audiences do love it.
Yeah, and I'll make sure to head along. I might not understand most of the jokes if I'm below 20. Oh, no, I'm not below 20. I'm sorry, I'm 23. But I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Oh, good on you.
Beautiful. Well, thank you once again.
All right. Pity we're not getting to the Barossa, but my regards to everybody over there, and I hope to see some of you at the theatre in Adelaide.
Of course. We'll definitely come along.
Good on you.
Thanks, mate.
Take care.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.